Hi guys! Welcome to New Music Rideshare. This is your favorite singer, songwriter, and Lyft driver, Lily. And today, my first passenger this morning, I picked up in Little Armenia here in Los Angeles. And who do I have the pleasure of driving this morning?
Hey guys, I'm Joe Miller.
Hey, Joe Miller. So before I played this song for Joe, we talked for a little bit, and that's where I got to learn that we have more Armenians in Los Angeles than they do in Armenia, because Joe came here from Armenia 10 years ago. I want to explain really quickly that New Music Rideshare is basically like a mini music podcast. And my passengers, they don't know, what I'm doing until they get in the car. And then if I get their consent, I ask them, if they like to be on these series, and I play them I have 5 unreleased original songs, and I'm trying to decide which one to drop as my bona fide single on Spotify. And this is so you, my followers, get to vote based on their reactions. So guys, I just played the strong one for Joe here. And I wanted to get his thoughts. He felt from it that it was a love song. Like, the thing I was saying is that art is any way you interpret it, because it has different meaning to you based on your experiences. So I love to hear what you think, Joe. 'Cause I couldn't let them in, so I pushed them all apart. Don't know how to choose.
Have a nice words.
Thank you. So much truth I never tell.
First when it starts, you can feel like it's a love song because of the melody, but then when you pay attention to the lyrics, it's about being strong, being, protecting, and myself being the head of household, having family, being the biggest brother in my family, and always taking care of my kid,
Oh, you have a
everyone.
kid?
Yes,
Oh.
I can feel the song, that's about me, from the very young age, I had to be responsible for my family, and I had to be strong. And it just reminds me of the good years that, when I first just start being responsible, understanding, what life is about.
I love it, Joe. So it sounds like you kind of grew up early and took on a lot of responsibility.
I did, yeah, I was oldest one from my siblings, I had a kid very young age. I had to grow faster, just take the responsibility.
Wow. It's really interesting because I've been observing the responses that I get from men and women on my lyrics, and you are the first male to really expand on your description of the lyrics of the song. And I knew that there was going to be a man that was going to finally be able to do this. Usually they're pretty brief, but I'm like, oh my gosh. And then the women I have are like,
Makes sense.
But I have always felt that I don't know how a man couldn't connect to this, because I do think you have a lot of pressure. You have a lot of weight, socially to carry the weight of the household, be the breadwinners. So I'm really glad that you brought that up, me connected, and especially with your childhood experiences too. Some of us have different experiences in life that force us to have to really step it up early, and take care and take charge in a way that other people haven't had to do.
Yeah, and I like it that you create music that can remind you of, your childhood, or it's really
No.
important.
Well, I
And not the
didn't.
sad way, just
Yeah,
good
no.
memories that,
These things build character, and I
of
know
course,
people hear that all the time. But I didn't tell Joe much about myself. But part of my background, and it's a big part of my platform, is that I'm a former foster youth and I'm adopted. So before I was 4, I've had to take care of myself since I was a child. So for me, writing this song, it has a lot of meaning to me, because it's something that I've carried with me my whole life. And now that I've gotten older and I've gone through different things in my life where I've had to look back to understand how these things have manifested in order to heal from them, I've been able to cathartically, release these things in my music, and it's beautiful to see how people like Joe are connecting to it. So thank you, Joe, so much.
thank you for playing the song. It was
You're
beautiful.
welcome.